Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys the series episode preview discussion. This time I am talking about the preview for episode 134. So let's get to it. In episode 134, Project MEW, which began in episode 133, will continue and perhaps it will also reach its conclusion. So let's break down the preview for episode 134. The preview begins with Groudon and Kyogre attacking Quillon, Gary, Danika, GOH, and Horace. Now of course, we knew that Groudon and Kyogre would appear in this arc, even before the arc began, since this was revealed in the special preview for Project MEW, and since episode 133 ended with the appearance of Groudon and Kyogre, it's no surprise that we will see them in action in episode 134 and that GO and the other chasers will have to somehow contend with these two legendary Pokemon. However, the preview does not reveal how GO and the others will get through Groudon and Kyogre in order to reach MEW. As of the end of episode 133, their Pokeballs don't work, so they do not have access to any Pokemon besides Weavile, Azumarill, and Grookey. It will be difficult for just these three Pokemon to defeat legendary Pokemon, even if they have the type advantage. Now the preview for episode 134 does reveal that GO and the other chasers will find a way to make their Pokeballs work, since Cinderace, Blastoise, Gardevoir, and the two Urshifu are seen in action. So perhaps, if they figure out how to get their Pokeballs to work when they are facing Groudon and Kyogre, then maybe they will be able to defeat the two legendary Pokemon by using their other Pokemon. However, I do have other theories. Weavile and Quillon are strong, and Weavile has the type advantage over Groudon. So perhaps they can force Groudon to retreat, or they might even defeat Groudon outright. Though the special preview for Project MEW and the preview for episode 134 show Quillon and Weavile being cornered by Groudon, which suggests that they will be the ones who taste defeat, though they might just be in a pinch from which they will make a comeback. But if they really are in a bind and they can't turn the tables, then I guess that they will be saved by MEW or by some other Pokemon or by some environmental phenomenon or by some quick thinking from Gary. On the other side of the battle, meaning Danika, GO, and Horace versus Kyogre, I think that Grookey will defeat Kyogre, or at least Grookey will force Kyogre to retreat. The reason why I think that Grookey will do this is that in the special preview for Project MEW, Grookey is seen attacking Kyogre, so Grookey will for sure fight Kyogre. However, I noted in my video discussing the special preview that attacking Kyogre won't end well for Grookey. But something happened in episode 133 that makes me believe that Grookey might have a chance against Kyogre. In episode 133, Grookey tried to fight Lunatone and Solrock. However, Grookey ended up being saved by Azumarill. After this battle, Grookey was clearly sad, and it looked at its stick in disappointment. I strongly believe that here, Grookey is lamenting its lack of strength. It's lamenting the fact that it cannot help or be of better use, especially when compared to Azumarill and Weavile. Since GO needs Grookey now more than ever, due to the fact that GO cannot use any other Pokemon, it's clear that Grookey wants to do its best to support GO. But it does not have the power, determination, or confidence to do so. It is worth noting that we have barely seen Grookey battling and it has only used one move. Therefore, Grookey is obviously not a fighter, but it will have to step up and fight to protect its trainer from danger. I think that this desire to be stronger, to be more useful, to help, support, and protect Go will give Grookey not only the courage to stand up to Kyogre, but also the power to do so. And this power will either be a new move or the activation of Overgrow, assuming of course that Grookey has this ability. I did also think that perhaps Grookey might evolve, even though I said in the past, when previewing and reviewing episode 101, which is the episode in which Grookey met Tawaki, that I doubt that Grookey will ever evolve. However, later in this preview, we clearly see that Grookey is still a Grookey when they are facing Mew. So evolution is very likely off the table for Grookey, just like I thought. But moving on, the preview then shows the red crystals that were also shown in the special preview. However, here in the preview for episode 134, we get a better shot of all the crystals, showing just how many crystals there are. I said in my video discussing the special preview that these crystals might be emanating some strange energy, which might be what is interfering with all the devices and what might have lured Groudon and Kyogre to Faraway Island. The crystals are seen here in the preview for episode 134, pulsating a wave of energy that sweeps across the island. This reveals that yes, these crystals are definitely not just a beautiful part of the environment. There is clearly something special about them. This is reinforced by the fact that the preview then shows that the crystals will apparently make Mew go berserk, since Mew is seen hovering over a crystal that is also floating, and then Mew ends up attacking Go and the others, thus forcing them to face Mew in order to calm it down. I guess that Mew might be overloaded with whatever energy these crystals are emanating, though it's also possible that Mew will rampage on its own, perhaps because of the humans trespassing on its home. Danika does say in episode 133 and in this preview that Mew can be both an angel and a demon. So yeah, Go and the other chasers will be forced to battle Mew, and it's clear that the elusive mythical Pokemon will prove to be quite powerful, since Weavile, Azumarill, Blastoise, Gardevoir, and Cinderace are all seen being wrecked by Mew. But surely, the two Urshifu will be able to defeat Mew, especially single strike style Urshifu, who has the type advantage over Mew, while also being immune to Mew's type. There is also the fact that Go, Gary, and Horace all have at least one legendary Pokemon as well. So while they will all clearly struggle against Mew, their struggle should not be too severe. With so many legendary Pokemon at hand, they will surely defeat Mew in the end. Now Go is heard exclaiming in the preview that he has been longing to see Mew, but not like this, meaning not with Mew rampaging and wrecking everything and everyone in its path. So who knows, maybe Go will get through to Mew by talking to it, thus calming it down without needing to defeat it. As for whether or not Go will catch Mew, I think that it is very possible that he will. In episode 133, he said that while he does not know what he would do if he was face to face with Mew, he thinks that he would want to catch it. Plus, this is Go we're talking about. Catching Pokemon is his whole shtick. And surely, he would at least try to catch the Pokemon he has been dreaming of finding. Plus, this would also conclude Pokemon Journeys with him achieving his dream, just like Ash achieved his. There is also the fact that at this point, I think that a character catching a legendary or mythical Pokemon is a normal occurrence, since in Pokemon Journeys alone, Go has caught 3 legendary Pokemon, while Gary, Quillon, Danika, and Horace all have at least 1 legendary Pokemon that they either caught or revealed in this series. Therefore, catching a mythical Pokemon is very much something that can happen. So I think that it is very likely that Go will catch Mew. Now I want to mention as well that Mew is seen using a giant Shadow Ball in the preview. This is of course reminiscent of Mewtwo, who also uses giant Shadow Balls. This parallel is fitting not only because of the obvious connection between Mew and Mewtwo, but also because in episode 133, Go referenced his and Ash's encounter with Mewtwo back in episode 46 of Journeys, which is where Mewtwo used the giant Shadow Ball. I think that it's cool how Mew and Mewtwo are alike, even when they attack. Finally, I want to point out that it seems that just like I thought, Project Mew will indeed conclude in episode 134, and episode 135 will be the final episode of Pokemon Journeys. The title for episode 135 suggests that it will be the classic farewell episode, while the preview for episode 134 clearly shows that Project Mew will get its climactic moment of finding and facing Mew. So I don't see why the arc wouldn't end in this episode, unless they leave us with a massive cliffhanger. But yeah, that's everything I have for you in this video. I am for sure looking forward to episode 134 because it's clear that it will be a very exciting episode, since we will get to see battles against 2 legendary Pokemon and a mythical Pokemon. Episode 134 will air on December 2. As usual, once the episode airs, I will post a review of it as soon as possible, both on YouTube and on Instagram, so please look forward to them. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.